Call to order, councillors. Please turn your mobile devices to silent. Welcome to the public forum on Monday, the 14th of April, 2025. Public forum relates to representations from the public on agenda matters before the ordinary meeting of council, which will commence tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. It is a requirement that I advise all present that the public forum is being live streamed, and I advised all present that your presence at this public forum is taken as consent that your image and your voice may be recorded and broadcast to the public by our live stream. Recordings of this public forum will remain on Council's website for at least 12 months. In the chambers today, we have Councillor Ben Pakes, Councillor Adam Matchett, Deputy Mayor Julie Coburn, Councillor Dean Saul, Councillor Noel Selby, Councillor Annette Lawrence, and online we have Councillor Arthur Bain. Staff attending today are Michael Jackson, Acting General Manager, Wesley Trotter, Director of Utilities, Lisa Davies, Acting Director Corporate and Commercial, Daniel Thorogood, Acting Director Operations and Planning, Vicky Thomas, Acting Group Manager, Governments and Information Services, Talia Randall, Governance Advisor, and Wayne Douglas. What's your title? Group Manager of Corporate Performance. Sorry, Wayne. We have no formal apologies, but I do apologise to you, Wayne. Acknowledgement of country. Kempsey Shire Council acknowledges the land of the Dunghutti Nation. We pay respect to elders past and present. We acknowledge the role of emerging leaders to continue to guide us into the future. We acknowledge the stolen generations and the need to change practices to be inclusive. This land always was and always will be Dunghutti land. I now call on any conflicts of interest. Councillors, do we have any conflicts? There are none. The General Manager will now outline the guidelines for the public forum.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Each speaker will be allowed 5 minutes to address the Council. This time is to be strictly enforced by the Chairperson. Speakers at public forums must not digress from the item on the agenda of the Council meeting they have applied to address the Council on. If a speaker digresses to irrelevant matters, the Chairperson is to direct the speaker not to do so. If a speaker fails to observe a direction from the Chairperson, the speaker will not be further heard. A council law, including the Chairperson, may, through the Chairperson, ask questions of a speaker following their address at a public forum. Questions put to a speaker must be direct, succinct, and without argument. Speakers are under no obligation to answer a question put under clause 4.15. Answers by the speaker to each question are to be limited to 1 minute. Speakers at public forums cannot ask questions of the Council, council laws, or Council staff. When addressing the Council, speakers at public forums must comply with this code and all other relevant Council codes, policies, and procedures. Speakers must refrain from engaging in disorderly conduct, publicly alleging breaches of the Council's code of conduct, or making other potentially defamatory statements. If the Chairperson considers that a speaker at a public forum has engaged in inappropriate conduct, the Chairperson may request the person to refrain from the inappropriate behaviour and to withdraw and unreservedly apologise for any inappropriate comments. Where the speaker fails to comply with the Chairperson's request, the Chairperson may immediately require the person to stop speaking. This does not limit the ability of the Chairperson to deal with disorderly conduct by speakers at public forums in accordance with the provisions of this code. Where a speaker engages in inappropriate conduct, the General Manager or their delegate may refuse further applications from that person to speak at public forums for such a period as the General Manager or their delegate considers appropriate.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. We have two items for today's public forum, both presentations by Mr. Kay. Firstly, Mr. Kay will speak against item 10.1, Draft Integrated Planning and Reporting Suite of Documents. Mr. Kay, when you're ready.
Councillors, citizens, the integrated planning documents are meant to be how the Council, I quote, deliver the aspirations of the community's strategic plan and supports the functions. Wow, that was a mouthful. No one could say that these documents are easy to get through. I congratulate councillors for making the effort. It is here where I find myself in a difficult position. As I hope I made clear in my March public forum address, I am full of hope and positivity. regarding the future activities of this council, and in partnership with the community, we can make a difference. It is hard to be positive when all you can really conclude with these documents is no. This is not working. Let me use a very specific example. Delivery program, page 40, co.dp4. Provide and maintain community halls and facilities that meet community needs. Presumably, this line item was identified as a priority during the community consultation phase, and as a result, it's included in the items for which we have now created a delivery program, as I believe has been the case for many previous years. How is it then that despite there being a community need, for instance, the dance at Stedford, the Melville Community Hall has not been maintained? Where is the provision of a facility to replace it? What of Smithtown Hall, the Richard Blight Music Centre? I don't think that it is necessarily possible for our Shire to do all these things, but it is misleading to include them if there is no intention of achieving these outcomes. As councillors, the things listed are signed off by you. Indeed, you are being asked to sign off for public display the very documents in front of you. Documents which, if one was to believe page 8, are the be-all and end-all that has been determined by input from the community and, I quote, "Our future is bright and beautiful." Bunkum. Can it be fixed? Not without a significant refocusing and re-engineering. The community engagement strategy only ends its public exhibition tomorrow. The day you are being asked to put a document that is supposedly forged by it also on public display. What if the community engagement strategy was shown to be in need of substantial change? Does this mean a year must go by before you as our representatives can react? The tail appears to be wagging the dog. Okay, let's accept that as being a done deal. The very nature of the delivery program is poorly implemented. On page 6, it mentions measuring performance. And I quote, "Council considers successful delivery of our annual operational plan actions as demonstrated progress in delivering on our delivery program." Seems fair enough, except at what cost? What is the response to over budget, behind schedule? Who is accountable? The halls and facilities were under CODP4 or similar previously. I don't recall any of the reporting mentioned in the quarterly operational plan progress report suggesting there was a shortfall in maintenance. More to the point, had they, what difference would it have made? I only have 5 minutes to respond to a huge amount of data and language, so I've confined myself to one very specific item. In my remaining time, I would pose some questions for councillors to consider when deciding whether to adopt these documents for public display. 1, where is the response to our current financial situation? Doesn't rate a line item. In 10.1.8 rating, which is the ratings, there are no options given for different things to happen. Previously, in adopting a hardship policy, no consideration was given to the interest on overdue amounts, 10.5%. As there is under legislation no flexibility in collecting monies, could we not reduce the interest in cases of hardship? There is apparently a policy. If it is a KSC policy, can it not be changed? Proposed borrowings. No, stop now. Find the money somewhere else. Offset, defer. You want a question? Sorry. Did you know that under current arrangements, every dollar you borrow costs the ratepayers too? 3, revenue streams exist. Why is the sale yards leased to no gain to the community? We don't even set the fees. To have it appear as a line item, manage the sale yards, manage what? It is a multi-million-dollar renovation. Is it the multi-million-dollar renovation program that we as a community now have to maintain? 4, do councillors know that in the recent federal budget, undoing, outsourcing and replacing consultants with employees were listed as savings?
That's time. Thank you, Mr. Kay. Do we have any questions, councillors? Councillor Coburn.
Thank you, Mr. Kay, and thank you for taking the time to have a read through that suite of documents. It's a lot. to get through. I do agree with you. I very clearly got a number of things from what you spoke about, but the question how without borrowing can we get the job done, if you like?
Mr. Kay.
Well, it's clear from the outcome of that specific single example I used that there are programs that aren't being fully delivered. So there are savings being made, regardless of what the community and our plans say. Let's make some more of them. And given that it doesn't seem to matter what the community consultation strategy or indeed the delivery plan says, we can start slashing some money there. But more to the point, let's get serious about our revenue streams. Let's get serious about finding this money somehow, some way. I mentioned offsets. We have a lot of money in the bank. There has to be some way we can find to offset our necessary borrowings. I don't think that we're going to not be able to borrow money, but I really think that it has to be a case of every time someone reaches for the cookie jar, you slap their hand and say, we have to find another way. $2 for every dollar borrowed. Ratepayers' pockets. Get serious. Get real.
Is there any more questions, councillors? No, you can start your second item, which you will speak for 11.3 notice of motion, Crown Land Management.
Feeling very lonely up here? Where's the rest of the community? They're not behind me. Councillors, citizens, there is an obvious alignment between my 10.1 presentation and this item, and it begs the question, if Crown land funding is re-fenced, where does that fence lie? But that is tangential to this issue. We, as a community, should be preserving and protecting our assets, especially assets as precious and unique as our Crown lands. To do so effectively, a proper flow of information must be given, an ounce of prevention, etc. It may lead to an increased support for upgrade proposals, and if delivered properly, it may help damp down community concerns. With a better informed council, there may appear new ways to assist in our financial position. Let's get better informed and make better decisions. When an idea is this good, it's hard to find much to say other than, yes, let's. I'm just going to dance for my remaining 3 points. No, thank you very much.
Thank you. Councillors, do we have any questions? No. Thank you for your presentations today, Mr. Kay. It's appreciated that you come along and we're now done with the public forum for today. So thank you everyone for attending.